We are recording for heavy. Did you feel going into the second eviction that your game life was on the line if you didn't win HOH or power veto?
Yes, pretty early on, I had a feeling that the guys were working together. And if that was truly the case, then I figured that they would target Tiffany first. And I figured that they would target me next because I was Tiffany's closest ally and probably perceived as more threatening than Azah. So Azah was going to be the last to go, or maybe they would have flipped me and Azah. I don't exactly know. But I knew that unless I won HOH or veto, I was going to be the target that week because I did not see Azah putting Big D on the block. I kind of figured that she wouldn't want to touch him. So I was going to go on the block at some point, whether it be before veto or after veto. So I really it was up to me to win HOH or veto to reposition myself for that eviction, but also to reposition myself within the house and take one of those guys out. And because I didn't do that, I'm sitting here right now. I knew that my game was on the line. I knew that my minutes in that house were numbered unless I won. So I'm not shocked that I was the second person targeted.
Who do you feel the most betrayed by in your eviction?
I honestly don't feel betrayed by anyone. I think Azah made a decision that she felt benefited her the most. Maybe she did that in order to build more trust with Kai, but you really have to know your audience. Kai would not want to bring you to the end. The guys have something. The guys are all incentivized to keep each other in this game, and that does not include you, Azah. So I don't feel betrayed by her. I just feel like that wasn't the most intelligent move to make. But I figured this was coming. Like I said, unless I would have won that HOH or veto, there was really no avoiding this outcome. I mean, had I maybe had a couple days to campaign and change people's minds, maybe I wouldn't be sitting here, but everything happened so rapidly that there wasn't much I could do.
Were you surprised that you and Tiffany were the first two Cookout members targeted and taken out?
No, I'm not really surprised that Tiffany and I were the first two members of the Cookout targeted. Tiffany came up with the master plan. She would have had a very, very compelling final two argument. And that's threatening to anyone, including myself. I am Tiffany, or I was Tiffany's closest ally within the Cookout and in the house. So, I mean, it's kind of logical that I went next. And if my suspicions are correct and the guys are working together, they may see me as slightly more of a competitive threat than Azah. And then also the way that the Cookout was set up, you kind of had Kai, you had Xavier, and then you had two duos. You had Azah and Big D, and then you had me and Tiff. And I certainly do believe that Tiff and I were the stronger and more competitive of the two duos. So yeah, I figured for weeks that, when we got to 6, Tiffany would be the first and either myself or Azah would be next.